In this video, we are on the Gila River Indian Community reservation, and we're going to be checking out some of the cool prehistoric, historic, and modern canals, and some of how the community is going about things now, thanks to Wesley Miles showing me around.
It seems empty, it seems devoid of a lot of things, but this is home. I wouldn't be anywhere else. And the river's not running anymore, you know, but we're actually, like, just on the other side of this bridge, they're doing a restoration to restore, like, riverine vegetation and habitats. Okay. So that's something the tribe wants to do with the water that's been, you know, that we've regained rights to
encourage the animal life, wildlife that was here?
Yeah, correct. So that's just across the way. I don't know if we have time to go see it.
So, so the river used to run all the time, and now does it?
Yeah, it's a perennial river. Used to run all year round. Maybe like in the worst drought years, maybe it went underground, like in the middle part of the community. But for the most part, it ran year round. And that enabled people to raise crops twice a year. Because if you started, like, the thaw point would be in February, right? Mm-hmm. And by March you could plant your first crop. And then using some of the corn varieties, you could harvest, like, that so-called 60-day corn. Yep. You could harvest that by July, or I'm sorry, June. And then you can plant another round of corn, you know, mid-July, just in time for the monsoons, which added some more water to the whole cycle. This is the heading for the Santan Canal, both historical and prehistoric. And this large channel we just walked by is the historical Santan Flood Canal. I believe it was built in the early 1900s, and it followed the prehistoric alignment, which the modern PMIP Canal also follows. So it's all in the same alignment. It might be not exactly in the same ditch, you know, channel that was carved 1,000 years ago.
This is where it used to come through.
But this is where it had to come through, because you have this butte here, you have the bedrock coming up, and then you have the river channel right here. So it creates this natural bottleneck that maybe brings some of that groundwater to the surface, and is a good place to draw off the Gila River. Of course, the headings would always get flooded out every year. So the heading might have gone as far as, you know, some half a mile that way. But you got to understand, all these canal systems seem separate on the map, but at the ends, if there was any kind of extra water, a lot of times we see they drained into the next system. Huh. So there was the there's a granite knob. There's another small canal system. All the irrigable land's removed. It's totally removed. It's scoured away by the Gila. There's only like a small sliver left, but that canal probably drained into this canal, the Santan Canal, prehistorically.
And so this over here is like the river channel itself?
Yeah,
for
the river
bigger
channel.
Bridge?
Yeah, the bridge itself was built, Oldberg Bridge. Yeah, it was built in the early 1900s, I think, to provide a way to A.J. Chandler's hotel in Chandler. It's supposed to be a dam, but the dam never worked.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I hear anyways. But yeah, so you have, like, you can see the head gate right here. You can still see that. And the old channel, which they had to carve down into the bedrock. The prehistoric channel probably came down this way. We've actually uncovered it underground, like the relic portion, when we did the testing for this canal, for the PMIP Canal. Oh, yeah. We exposed it in this site.
So now the water here is coming from where?
This would be part cap water. Okay. CAP, Colorado River, and part Gila River. Okay. They come together back just south of Florence. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's a beautiful area when you look out, but it's not very green.
To me, this is greener than it's ever been.
This is really green compared to August.
And it's just, compared to St. Louis, it is not green. Or North Texas, East Texas. But it's green right now for me. And apparently that's like some of the native vegetation that used to grow along the river cattail.
It's slowly coming
willow.
back, some of it.
Well, wherever they release water into the park, for one. But yeah, it's going into the channel right here, which is where you can see all, I think that's cattail.
Yeah.
You can see the channel going that way. And it's just taken off, like in the last 5 years. This was even more dry and sandy than it is now. But that habitat's coming back, which I think everybody in the community really likes to see. Though I'm not sure everybody's aware of it.
They might not think about it so much.
Water back to the people, you know. But yeah.
Such a beautiful area. It's just a different beauty than I'm used to.
If you're wanting to take some more video of that habitat, it would be worthwhile going into that park.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably check it out.
Okay.
Okay. This is the prehistoric alignment. It's one of the better examples on the community of a prehistoric canal as you see it in the wild,
Okay.
so to speak, before it's impacted by roads, development.
So what we're walking in is a canal?
Oh, this is a dirt road.
Okay.
But trust me, it's going to be equally as dramatic as this is. And it's hard to see with all the like spring vegetation dying off, but it's exactly like you would expect an old ditch to look like.
Yeah.
You got like two parallel berms, and then you have like a swale in the middle, and it just keeps extending out, you know, until it gets interrupted by, you know, a wash or some kind of disturbance. In this case, it's going to be the most recent PMIP canal. The canal that we looked at the bridge,
Yeah.
this is it right here. The little, they converted it into like a drainage ditch and flood protection channel. So all the runoff coming from the mountains will go into the historical canal and protect the modern one. And of course, the historical canal basically followed this. So
yeah, my friends yesterday were saying that the current day canals were frequently built right on top of the others.
Right on top or right next to, where they could discern, or, you know, it made it convenient. It definitely shortened the work.
They understood how water would flow in those areas.
Right, right. But yeah, this is one of the better examples. There's a couple more, but we ain't gonna go to those today. But yeah, this is the prehistoric Santan, the historical Santan flood canal, and then the modern day canal just up there. They parallel each other. Yeah.
Historic and modern day all together.
Yep. Significant size difference. You know?
Yeah. But this one's been filling up for a while, probably.
Right, but even just the berms, you know, you're right, they filled in a lot. We actually put a trench in this. Trench was over here somewhere. And so from that trench, we can see like the profile of the ditch as it was excavated. And we take the measurements of that and can do like, you know, stream flow reconstruction or whatever. And then you can see how many acres this canal could have potentially irrigated.
And how deep it was.
Based on the size of it, like the
how
cross
much
section.
water then it
Yeah.
carry, the
I mean,
capacity.
yeah, we could do the same with the modern ditch. You know, give us like an acreage, like total acreage that could be irrigated. So, yeah.
So cool. I love that they're all right on top.
Right next to
on
each
top or
other?
Right next to each other.
Right. And that you can see this pattern all over the community, you know.
For a long time, nobody knew what to look for, though, right?
Early Euro-Americans did notice what they were seeing because it was extremely obvious, especially in the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
And a lot like the Mormon settlers.
Yeah.
They re-excavated Hohokam canals.
Okay.
In the Phoenix area, you know, Grand Canal built
Yeah.
right on the prehistoric one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so prehistorically, they would realign them from time to time, you know, as it starts to drift
Yeah.
over hundreds of years. So like there was probably already a relic canal next to it. And so the Euro-Americans probably just went into the biggest one, whichever one
Yeah.
made sense for them
Yeah.
to re-excavate. Yeah. Are you okay walking through some of this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I've got real shoes.
Yeah, so when they dammed up the river, a lot of the native species, they went into decline. There was a period of deforestation that occurred, especially as the cash economy kind of like changed everything on the reservation. You couldn't farm anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you just didn't have the water. And so a lot of people resorted to selling to, you know, outside communities, basically firewood. You had a reduction in the river's natural resources. You know, the cottonwood died out and was replaced by salt cedar.
Oh yeah.
Tamarisk, all these invasive species. And if you go to the west end, the entire Gila is just chock full of salt cedar.
Wow.
And it's choked out all the natural species. And this is a recreation of all that, or a restoration, I should say.
Those ducks just
I saw them. It's a killdeer.
Definitely hear a lot of birds.
Yeah.
This is beautiful, like a Sunday, CBS Sunday morning place.
Yeah, just sit here like for what seemed like endless. And it's shortened over time. It used to be like what felt like an hour, like 10 minutes probably. And then I watched it recently and now it's just like 30 seconds. Or something.
It goes so quickly.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't been here in a while. It's nice
Wow,
to see
the
the water.
cattails have definitely come back.
Yeah. And they had a fire come through here, I think 2 years ago. It kind of, I don't know if you noticed the Gila River channel, like when we crossed, it was full of cattail. Yeah, that whole area caught on fire.
Oh wow.
Because it was the dry time of year. But it popped right back. Like you can't even see the damage anymore. And this whole thing came up within 5 years. Like maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was seeded, it was just all dirt and sand. And so all this is just recent, which I find amazing, to be honest, to see all this here.
The sounds of so many birds and so many different calls.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel nature speaking.
Yeah.
So this is an area that's a park for the community?
Yeah, it's a park. It's an interpretive trail area for the restoration work being done, because I think this locality is one. I think there's 2 others planned. I'm not really sure.
So it's connected to the reinstatement of water.
Right, right. It is. It's one of the things the community wants to do is restore parts of the river, and it's, you know, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
With the natural vegetation, the native vegetation.
This will only get better with time, right?
Right. But yeah, this is what I think about when I think about how it used to be, like when the river was still flowing, you know, year round. And it's these kinds of areas where you would have the heading of your ditch, you know, of your canal.
Thanks for checking out our videos. We'd love for you to subscribe, watch some more videos, follow our podcast in general. I'm your host, Janice Ferson.